When we look at the post-election violence, when we look at the figures, when we see what has been reported versus the claims that are being made, of course, by different media outlets, by what we're seeing, what do you think is the real picture? Maybe you can paint us through the post-election violence and what exactly has been done, in the sense you mentioned that there were more than 300 people who've lost their jobs, right, in this. Maybe you can also take us through how much damage has been done in the post-election violence.
Actually, I would account for that if the government had released figures so far of the cost or the damage that has happened. But again, from the look of things, because after that I went to Dar es Salaam.
Yes.
I voted in a place called Mwanza. Then after that I went to Dar es Salaam. In Dar es Salaam we have we call it rapid bus. We have a rapid bus, system in Dar es Salaam. We call it BRT. All these stations, they're not even operating right now because all the stations are vandalized. And that costed government millions of money. The kind of money that perhaps was to be taken to hospitals, to boost healthcare in our country, or be taken to schools, or building some roads, were actually taken to do this kind of project.
Yes.
So that we can actually ease and transport system in Dar es Salaam for economic benefits of our people. But you see now, this network of rapid bus transport was destroyed completely. We have government installations, like some government buildings that were burned. There's some private property that were also banned. So it was indeed a very bad situation. Yes. Which is uncalled for. Yeah.
So you've mentioned that, of course, it is a bad situation, and I'm going to read to you some figures from the UN Human Rights Office, that's OHCHR, and it said that it had reports indicating that hundreds of people have been killed during the protests, with many more injured or detained. A diplomatic source in Tanzania has told the BBC that there were credible evidence that at least 500 people have died during this election, during the post-election violence. What is your thoughts on this? What would you have to say to this report?
Oh yeah, there have been so many speculations around.
Okay.
Yeah, some would actually tell you 23,000. I even saw it. Some would actually tell you 23,000 people died. Some will talk about some mass graves, in Dar es Salaam where people are being, buried. Some will talk about 11,000 people died. Some will talk about 3,000 people died. So
there's also videos that we've been seeing on social media. We've been seeing, obviously, BBC has released some videos as well, showing very graphic images of what exactly the situation was on ground and with the police brutality. What do you have to say about that as well?
The truth is that I'm not denying, and actually I acknowledge it from the word go. It is true that people died, and even the president acknowledged when she was giving her maiden speech in the parliament. She acknowledged that, and everybody is acknowledging that it is true that some people died, some got injured, and some were also detained. And that is why the president, during the maiden speech in the parliament the other day, she actually instructed our security agencies, the DCI, I think, to actually assess, this kind of, because some were given terrorism charges. So she gave a directive that they should assess these cases, and if possible, some should be acquitted. Okay. Depending on the weight, of the crimes committed. Yes. So she gave that directive. So I am not denying the fact that some people died, and as I have said from the beginning, and it's a situation that I wish will not, happen again in our country. But now the problem is with these figures. Yes. Because they are not verified, and that is why even our government has actually not come out with a correct maybe figure of people who maybe died or people who got injury, because it takes time, to kind of gather this kind of data so that you may be able to release to the public. Yeah, so the figures you see there have been different conflicting reports from different institutions, different sources that according to me are not yet verified.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. And of course, as we wrap up, moving forward, what exactly do you think needs to be done? Because the opposition has obviously rejected calls for dialogue. You said dialogue is the only way out. President Samia Suluhu also mentioned in one of the stories that we've aired right here that dialogue is very important. So if there is no dialogue from their side, from the opposition side, what happens next?
Okay, first, I should acknowledge that, you see,